Good morning. So, new day, new guest. Today, I have the vice president of crypto at Cross River. His mission is to close the gap between 2.5 billion people who access retail banking services digitally and the 250 million crypto users. So, top some of the top hot topics, which is in the news these days: cryptocurrency, digital transformation, and Luca is all about bridging the gap between those two. Let's welcome Luca on 10 Minutes of Hiding Wisdom, where he will tell us about what he has learned along the way, what his experience is like at Cross River, and if he has any tips for job seekers out there, what would it be? Hey, Luca, how are you doing?
Doing well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, Luca, can you tell us about where you work, what your company does?
Yeah, I recently joined a company called Cross River, which is a fintech company that helps other fintech companies offer banking, payments, and lending services in a very regulated way. And we partner really well with companies who don't have our same licenses, but they want to offer those products to the end users. And so we help them do that. We provide them with the technology, with the regulatory framework and compliance framework to offer like the products that they want to offer to the users. And we've been in crypto as a company since many years now because we've been providing services to companies such as Coinbase. So we facilitate some of the things initially with the banking systems and now with the payments. But now we're exploring how to actually enter crypto from a product standpoint. So we're actually building crypto first products.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And you mentioned that when you work with companies, you provide them with a regulatory framework. Does that framework vary from company to company? What factors do you guys take into account to make sure that it's a very personalized approach?
Oh no, it's kind of intuitive. So the the U.S. has a very specific regulation. I mean, a set of policies that need to be respected, and set of rules that need to be respected. So we do the homework. We organize our services around the around respecting these rules that the different entities have. They range from how to move money to how to lend to how to advertise to which logos need to be displayed on websites of entities that are regulated. It's like a very broad and standard set of rules. And yeah, we provide our customers with the right framework to operate in a purely regulated environment in the US.
So you do all the back end hard work, which involves all the policy making, doing the homework and everything. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure those companies consider themselves fortunate enough to be working with a company that is doing all the hard work for them. Because I think when you're transferring money, when you're working with companies, there's so many policies that need to be taken into account. And even one, if you miss one policy, that could lead to a lot of issues with the government, with the taxpayers and everything. So that definitely does make a lot of sense. So
Yeah, we
Luca,
do
how
that.
has
We
your
do. So,
sorry, go
so
ahead.
no, I was saying like
Go ahead, go ahead.
we do that piece. We also do the technology because we have incredible APIs to let these companies consume the services and offer those services to the users. We have an outstanding capital markets team who runs the lending that we offer. So yeah, we are a very complete company. I think crypto was the actual missing piece to this big offering.
It's a win-win for everyone. Sounds wonderful. So, Luca, what is your role within the company? What do you do? What is your day-to-day like? And if you have any openings within your team, I would love to hear more about those.
Yeah, sure. You mentioned that before. I work as a vice president of crypto, and I'm in charge of building our crypto offering. The way to kind of conceptualize what we do is maybe like split things in two big areas of work. The first one is providing banking and payments services to crypto companies, and we're exploring how. Like you know that this is an evolving industry, and so we are seeing how this would look like. But whenever all the regulatory framework is in place, we are happy to do it. And then the second stream of work, which is maybe where I'm more focused on, is creating crypto products for mainly fintech companies. So our vision is that every fintech company should be able to offer crypto products to their users. Of course, we are starting with whatever makes sense right now, which is the basic layer of like custody and lending and um, payments in crypto, which is kind of like the backbone of every future products. But we also want to be finding ways to go beyond that and embrace what crypto is bringing in terms of innovation and disruption. And so the long story short is that we want to attract people who see Bitcoin and all the other crypto as the value that they're bringing to the market, and not necessarily just as an asset that can be traded on a daily basis. We are hiring,
I love
so
that.
we are acting as a startup inside Cross River. For people who don't know Cross River, we have 600 employees across the board, and the crypto team is a newly formed team. Even if we've been in crypto for many years, as I said before, and so we are hiring across the board. Even in crypto, we're forming a startup inside Cross River. And it's a pretty good arrangement because we can leverage all the resources that and the expertise that Cross River built in the last few years. But at the same time, we have the flexibility to build new products. So we're hiring for business roles such as business operations, business development, as well as like research. So research people who have been in the sell side of um, equity research for some time, maybe in banks. And then we're hiring for the product organization, so product managers, engineers, support, customer success management, and yeah, this is kind of a comprehensive.
A lot of roles are open, so I can definitely see the industry is going growing, and I think there would be a lot of demand for such roles. And I'd love to hear, Luca, specifically about how is the hiring process like at Cross River? Like, do you, because I mean, I understand you have a small team and everything, but what exactly is your hiring process like? How many rounds of interviews are there and everything, so that people know when they're applying to your company what they're getting themselves into?
Yeah, so we are defining these processes as we speak, because as I said, like we are a new team, and so we have a chance not to just copy paste what the company does, but we can like design the experience that we want. But I think the way we're structuring our process is kind of like straightforward, following what the tech industry has been pioneering for some years now. So there is an initial round of screening from the application, which is meant to see what people are looking for, and also match those skills with their role. We hire for attitude and skills, so depending on the role and the person, we have some roles that need to be more specific around the skill set that we need. Some others are more like broader and appeal to the attitude of the person. Then after this initial screening phase, there is a conversation generally with me as a hiring manager, and in this conversation, I try to assess the motivation, and I try to assess the previous experience. We go over. I let the candidate talk, and I ask a lot of questions around why did you do that? How did you do that? What did you write in that email? So I try to get a sense of how that person works. I really care about the day to day of an individual who joins the company. And then after that, there is a case study, which is a project. So we send this project, the person like solves it and comes back to us in a few days. Something pretty straightforward, but we want to see how the person works. Um, and then after that, there are two more sort of like rounds of interviews. One has to do with the characteristics that we're looking for, which I'm going to mention in a second. And then the very last round is generally more conversational. It's not really like an interview, but is a get to know each other with all the stakeholders. We found out that adding this step is a little annoying for the candidate because it has to go through more conversations, but the value of it is tremendous because when the candidate joins, more people know the candidate knows the people, they've been in touch before, and it's great. um, so yeah, in terms of what we're looking for, I think we're testing for maybe four components. We're defining this as we speak, but we think that the best description is around four items. The role related knowledge, so we want to know that the person can perform the job. We are testing for critical thinking, so we want people who have the courage to like step back, look at the situation, identify the elements, the building blocks, the critical path, and then move forward with that. Execution, which is related to critical thinking, which is the kind of like next step of critical thinking, which is can you actually identify the best way and the fastest way to develop what you're doing by doing only what really matters. And then the fourth aspect, which is very important, is are you a team player? And we identify what that means, and we think this means that you perform really well yourself, but you also help your team advance and do better than what they would do without you. So you help other colleagues unblock. You define the best practices. You raise the bar of the team, and you help other people around you, even not just in your team, do better than what they would do otherwise.
Okay, so Luca, thank you so much for describing that whole process in such a thorough manner and describing the characteristics and traits that you're looking into for people. So, if you're listening to this and if you have all those traits and are looking for a challenge, you might want to reach out to Luca or even check out their job page. And you never know, this might be your next opportunity. But other than that, Luca, thank you so much for joining us on the show, for sharing about your company, and I hope you continue to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and digital transformation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.